Hello everyone and welcome to a reading wrap-up. This particular reading wrap-up was for a readathon that ties into Pokemon, which is created and hosted by Meredith from Reading with Merb. But this one is for a different TBR game. The host for this one is called Roll of Reads. And the host is Mel from a book friend named Mel. There's also some co-hosts. We have Bethany, Paige, Meredith, Kaz, Wren, Krystal, Cara, Kat, and Stef. So, and one of the prompts for Pokemon was to complete a Roll of Reads game, which I have done, so I've got the Pokemon for that. There was a specific and I had it written down, but I don't remember what book I chose. But there was specifically for March, the prompt was a fan, and that's to read a book you know almost nothing or nothing about. Pretty much every book that I own would count for that, so I can pretty much take whatever was not used. And I did select something specific, but I got rid of my paperwork that had that one prompt written down on it and what book I used for that prompt, which was not any of the books I'll be showing you in this video. And so I don't remember what book I used specifically for that. So, but I did complete it. I have been completing every month's specific prompt. So like the month for April is out. I took a screenshot of it, but I don't remember what it is right off the top of my head. Got some stuff going on in the house. Our basement is flooding and we're waiting on a plumber to come. So my mind is not all there. But there's nothing I can do about it right now. So I thought to try and take my mind off of the stress a little bit, I'm going to film this wrap up for Roll of Reads. So I ended up rolling 5 times. And I knew I was going to do at least, I think I've tried to do, when I tried to figure out how many rolls I was going to do, I rolled 4, but in my head I'm thinking I'm going to do 5. But I ended up with no punishments, no rewards, or anything like that. So it worked out to be rather simple for me, and I completed this. So yay, I am happy about that. So let's get into the 5 books, and the five prompts and the 5 books that I assigned to each prompt and all of that fun stuff. Okay, so when I played the game, the first roll that I got, the prompt was a booktuber's favorite. I don't remember which booktuber this is, but you can pretty much find someone has talked about this book somewhere and has absolutely loved it. I ended up going with The Night Swim by Megan Goldin, and I didn't write the booktuber that I found specifically that said that, but there is someone out there where this is one of their favorite books. So The Night Swim by Megan Goldin. This is an adult thriller, major podcast element. This one, we have 2 POVs. One is told in first person and one is told in third person. The one told in third person is from the perspective of Rachel. She is the podcast host. And then the one told in first person is, and the podcast is Guilty or Not Guilty. And Hannah is the one that's told in first person. So Rachel ends up going to this small town in, I want to say it's North Carolina. I could be wrong on that. I did write it down and I'll mention it, or I did mention it in a review that will be up soon for this. She goes to this small town. Basically, there's this trial going on about this girl who was like 15-ish at the time, who says that she was raped by this town, a boy who's like the celebrity of the town because he's this big athlete, major swimmer, gonna go places, possibly go to the US Olympics type of a thing. And he's saying, no, it was consensual, and just because she regretted it, now she's saying it's rape. So it's a he said, she said type of situation. Who do you believe? The town is divided. People are saying you've got to believe her no matter what until it's proven that he is innocent. But other people are like, no, his reputation and his image are being tarnished, and he should be innocent until proven guilty type of a situation. So Rachel has gone to this town to talk about this as the trial is unfolding. And she's, along the way, she's getting these letters from Hannah, which those are the ones that are told in first person, who's talking about her older sister, Hannah's older sister, that was she says was murdered a while ago, and she's asking for Rachel's help to uncover the truth with who murdered her and why and all of that. So you're following as she goes along with that. It was really good. I enjoyed it. I gave this 4 stars, and it was 341 pages. Prompt number 2, or role number 2 that I got was a mood read. And so I went ahead and stuck on Ways to Be Me by Libby Scott and Rebecca Westcott. This was the selection for Autism Reads, which is a read-along that I host where we read a book every month by an author that is confirmed to be autistic. So this was the selection for March. And this was the middle grade. April's will be an adult book or age category. So this one I ended up giving 4 stars. It was 287 pages. This is like the prequel to the series called Tally. In this particular book, we are following Tally as she is in year 6. I think this takes place somewhere in Europe. I want to say it's London or the UK, somewhere around, not necessarily London, but somewhere in the UK. And because I talk a lot about year 6, which we don't have here in the United States, so I'm not for sure what age school that is. So, but year 6, Tally struggles with trying to fit in. It talks about how she will adjust what she says, and even though she struggles with her thinking, like she should like something, but everyone else doesn't like it, and so she gets hard on herself because she likes something that other people don't like, or switch it around where she doesn't like something that people like, and the turmoil that goes on in her head with that, these meltdowns that she has at home, and how when she gets home she is just so burnt out, she has a meltdown, and her family is getting the wrath of these meltdowns, and things like that. And people, like, she has an aunt that is like kind of like your child is spoiled, you give her too much leeway type of a situation. Her mom and dad do some investigation and find out that Tally might actually be on the autism spectrum, so they take Tally to see a specialist. She goes through a diagnosis, and yes, it is confirmed that Tally is autistic. And so there's conversation about what it means to be autistic, what it means for Tally, that just because you have someone that's autistic, and she has a classmate who is autistic, a boy that's her age that's autistic in her class. She associates autism with him, and she's like, I'm nothing like him. And so it's her figuring out that just because you know someone that's autistic doesn't mean that everyone is going to fit into that little stereotypical mold, that it's going to be different for everyone. So that's what that is. Prompt number 3 I ended up getting was a book that features an animal on the cover. For this one, I went with Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. This was cool. This one is told, the octopus on this is Marcellus. And we do get some like diary entries. It's like day 1,300 of my captivity. And then it talks about that. It talks about what he thinks of Tova, who is there to clean the facility that his tank is at. His tank is there, think of it kind of like, not as big as SeaWorld's, but it's kind of an aquarium. You have a tank of the octopus, you have eels, you have other sea creatures in various tanks. Tova goes and cleans when it's closed down and there's no visitors, so she empties the trash, cleans up the garbage that's littered on the floor, things like that, wipes the fingerprints down, and that. So we also get some perspectives from Tova. She is dealing with the loss of her brother has died, her husband has passed away, and her son passed away when he was 18. So she's all alone in life and having to deal with being a widow and all alone in this house. What is she going to do? Her brother passed away from this kind of retirement senior citizen living center facility, and so she's thinking maybe she needs to transfer to that place to where she'll be around other people and can get help when she needs it. So she's kind of in that stage of her life of looking with what's going to happen next. We also follow a gentleman who is 30 years old who is trying to find his father. He is not happy with his mom because his mom is addicted to drugs. He doesn't know if she's alive or dead and where she is. He doesn't know who his dad is, but his aunt gives him a box that contains some things that were his mom's. Thinks he found something that belongs to his dad, and so now he's on the hunt from California to Washington trying to find his dad to connect to his dad. So and things like that. You have another perspective from this in this book from, I forgot his name, but he is an immigrant from Scotland, and he happened to buy all takes place in a small little town in Washington. He bought the grocery store in this small town, and you get the feeling he's attracted to Tova and would love to have a relationship with her. So anyway, so this was a fun book. I gave this 4 stars, and it was 355 pages. So for the 4th prompt that I ended up getting was a pet pick. Ophelia at the time of filming this was sick. Ophelia is my cat. She was not feeling very well, was very much isolating herself, so I couldn't do the pet pick, but I decided to do a book with a cat on the cover because Ophelia is a cat, and so I went with a cat on the cover, and I ended up going with Tailing a Tabby. So the cat is right here, and this is a cozy mystery. It's your standard cozy mystery. This is book number 2 in a Bookmobile cat mystery. This one is a library that gets this bookmobile, and they're already in a small town, but Minnie is the person that's over this bookmobile. She decides to take this bookmobile to even smaller areas or more isolated settings around this small town to try and get more people to check out more books from the library, get people to have library cards, to enjoy the love of reading and the love of books. Eddie in the first book stows away on the bookmobile and becomes a permanent fixture because people love seeing Eddie and will go to check out books from the library just because they get a chance to see and pet Eddie the cat, who is a tabby. So it's your standard cozy mystery. There is a death in this particular one. Someone is framed that Minnie, who's the main character we're following, thinks is innocent. So she inserts herself into the investigation and puts her life on the line. So she ends up kind of getting her life on the line as far as someone kind of sending her a threatening note at one point saying, back off. And that's your standard cozy mystery. You do not need to worry about any blood, guts, gore type of a situation. It is very clean as far as that goes. There is no explicit sex in a true cozy mystery book, as well as the language is fairly clean. Sometimes you might get hell, shit, or damn, and that's the extent. But even then, very, very minor with the language. Like I don't even remember what word came up, and I think it was like, it may have been like the word God came up twice, once with a capital G, once with a lowercase g, and that was it in this whole book. Once more in a religious sense, one more of a mythological sense. So, but yeah, so very clean. So if you don't like the darker stuff, light and fluffy, quick reads. So cozy mystery, I gave this 5 stars. I had a great time with this one. 340 pages, and I think there's 12 books. There's 11 or 12. I think 12 in this series so far. The last prompt that I landed on or ended up getting for Roll of Reads was a book to read a book that is under 300 pages. This is just under 300 pages. I read The House of Last Resort by Christopher Goldin. I ended up giving this one 4 stars. The atmosphere was there. Okay, I'm going to try and hurry. We've got the plumber here. So, book under 300 pages. This was 290 pages. This takes place in Italy, Sicily, Italy. Basically, they are getting people to migrate from different countries. In this case, we're following 2 people who immigrated from America to try and have a better life in Italy. And they end up in this house, which ends up being called the House of Last Resort. And they're trying to figure out if they are seeing things and hearing things, if it's all in their head, or if they're literally haunted. You have possessions, blood, things like that. So this was a fun time. I gave this 4 stars, and again, 290 pages. So overall, that's 5 books read for Roll of Reads. That's all I had to do. 1,613 total pages read. I got The House of Last Resort finished the last day. Like maybe I had 10 pages on to April 1st, but that's at most. I think I had maybe actually 5 pages, but so I'm saying it was done in March. So I completed the Roll of Reads, 1,613 pages, 31 days. That's 52 pages a day. So I gave 4 books 4 stars, 1 book 5 star. That's a total of 21 stars issued. So into 5 books, that is a 4.2 star average. So let me know, did you participate in the Roll of Reads? What was your favorite read for the month? And are you participating in Bookemon? Let me know. Talk to me in the comment section below. And until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book. And I will talk to you later.